Call the roll.
Barnett, Bauman, Demacus,
Yes.
Domes,
Yes.
Fakin, Gates, Hochhalter,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Kibler,
Yes.
Leider,
Yes.
Nestall,
Yes.
Offerdahl,
Here.
Wagenist.
Yes.
All right, rise to the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we have approval of the July 7th, 2022 regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on the minutes? All right, we'll call the roll.
Demacus,
Yes.
Domes, Gates, Hochhalter,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Kibler,
Yes.
Leider,
Yes.
Offerdahl,
Yes.
Wagenist.
Yes.
Motion carries. Because I have another commitment and I don't want to run the risk of walking out, I'm changing the agenda. We are going to go to chair and vice chair selection and get that out of the way right now. So I'm going to open the floor to nominations for Chair Planning Commission, and I'm not serving as Chair of the Planning Commission any further, so please do not nominate me.
So, Chairman Demacus, members of the commission, so last year you handled it in bulk, so it was the chair and vice chair coupled together. On the prior year, you handled it separately, nominating a chair and then vice chair. So it's up to you how you'd like to handle it. Might be simpler to nominate one at a time.
Well, the floor is open for chair. I don't care if we can do them both or not. It's however a motion wants to be made.
Mr. Chair, I'll nominate Dustin, our Chairman Offerdahl, for chair.
Okay. We have a nomination of Dustin Offerdahl for chair. Are there any others? All right, hearing none, then I will close nominations. And we will call the roll on the election of the chair.
Barnett,
Yes.
Demacus,
Yes.
Domes, Gates, pardon me, Hochhalter,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Kibler,
Yes.
Leider,
Yes.
Nestall,
Yes.
Offerdahl,
Yes.
Wagenist.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, Mr. Offerdahl, you will be the chair starting the next meeting. So the next item then is we will open the floor to vice chair nominations.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Bauman for vice chair if he is willing to serve.
Okay, there's a nomination. Is there a second? Any others? I'm sorry. Not a second. We don't need a second. Mr. Van Dyke, did you have something you'd like to add?
Just waiting for the second, but I was just going to say that Commissioner Bauman did mention to me in an email that he would be willing to serve as vice chair if nominated. So it still requires a second.
I will second.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? All right, hearing none then, we will close the vice chair nominations and call the roll for the election of Mr. Bauman as vice chair.
Barnett,
Yes.
Demacus,
Yes.
Domes, Hochhalter,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Kibler,
Yes.
Leider,
Yes.
Nestall,
Yes.
Offerdahl,
Yes.
Wagenist.
Yes.
All right. So with that, then we will get to the regular agenda.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just a
Yes.
quick question. Is this standard procedure to vote openly, to like declaring your vote
Yeah,
publicly?
that's the way we do everything.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so on to the agenda item number 5. It's a public hearing request on an application from Crystal Broch, representing LNC Holdings LLC, for a future land use map amendment from commercial to industrial and a zoning map amendment from C2 General Commercial District to M1 Light Industrial District for the purpose of expanding the truck operation located on an adjoining property. The legal description for the properties are Outlot 41 of Section 27, Township 155 North, Range 83 West, and Block 1, Lafarge Second Addition to the City of Minot, North Dakota. One property is addressed as 1134 18th Street Southwest. One is unaddressed, being located immediately south of 1134 18th Street Southwest. With that, then we'll turn it over to staff for the report.
Thank you, Vice Chairman, or sorry, not Vice Chairman. Thank you, Chairman Demakis. So, as you mentioned, the whole purpose of this application is to allow the property owner to expand their existing business with trucking operation. So this is the first stage of it. So starting off with the aerial view. So their property is the long, skinny one that's actually abutting the ones in white that are the subject properties for this evening. So that's their existing trucking operation. They're nearby that. Of course, they have the 300-foot notification area that's shown in teal on there. And as a more general location from this is just to the southwest of Ness Finch and even further southwest from Magic City campus, which is a more general location for the property. And so overall, like I had mentioned, their whole goal is to ultimately expand their business onto these two lots, shown in white still. So the first step of that is rezoning these properties. So the applicant would like to rezone these properties so they can eventually combine them with the existing property they have, in which case it's the long, skinny, kind of funny-shaped purple one that's on the screen. So that's existing industrial. So this was something that they came in for rezoning for back in 2019, where it was expanded across 18th Street Southwest from the east onto this property, and it was rezoned to industrial, and the future land use map at that time was also amended to be industrial. And staff at the time was generally okay with moving it across the street due to the inherently more industrial nature to the area. Yes, there are some existing commercial businesses, especially along Broadway, but overall, a lot of the businesses there, even if they were commercial nature, they weren't really meeting all the C2 standards. There was parking or design or just kind of the overall feel of site landscaping, things like that. It was more of an industrial feel. It wasn't up to our C2 standards. And so at the time, staff was okay with expanding the district to cross the street. And the same logic kind of holds for staff. In this case, it won't be a spot zoning or anything like that, because we are just expanding his existing district further to the south in this case. So overall, like I'd mentioned, it is more of an industrial area, and that's why we are supportive of it. There's a variety of different businesses there that kind of go beyond what's just readily apparent from the aerial photo. Now, looking at the future land use map, like I mentioned, the property north of their existing property is designated as industrial. And they would like to expand that then onto these properties. And so, looking at the case overall, I mean, I guess to address some concerns with going and moving some industrial zoning onto these properties, or to rezone them as that. Because if we look at the map here, there's MH zoning to the south, so we have a mobile home park, we have some R2 single family dwellings, looks like in this case. So one might be a twin home, they have some R4 residential. This is the first step in the process. So first they'll be coming in for these rezonings, then they'll be looking at doing a minor subdivision to combine the properties. After that, then they'll be looking at doing a conditional use permit. So their trucking business overall we've identified as being similar to open warehousing, where they're storing stuff on the property and they're hauling it off on occasion. For their business, which is more of an oil field kind of tinted or slanted business. So that use in both the C2 district and the M1 district does need a conditional use permit, which, so we'll have to evaluate that more so at that time as to where specifically they want to put things, but staff doesn't exactly have as many concerns with just the first step of this process being rezoning the property to actually look at mitigating things, knowing that have to come in for their conditional use permit, and they'll be before the planning commission again at that time, like come in. So going to site photos, this is a picture of the entrance to those properties. This is on the long, skinny one. That was one of the subject properties. This is looking at the entrance. Going back, there is a gated entrance. You can see some of the various vehicles that are stored on the property itself, which is I believe that one was used to be a sales of like gutters or roofs, something along those lines. It's a more industrial use than your normal C2 commercial that's zoned as. This is a view of just the entrance. You can see one of the buildings on the property at the Brock zone. You can see some fencing. It's chain link fencing along there. Actually, it looks like there may be some security wire of some kind at the top of the fence. So it's not your traditional C2 commercial like you'd find on Broadway or in that area. And with this site photo, this is just kind of more of an idea for where things are. There's a line of cars in the background. That's showing the approximate location of the property that's addressed as 1134 18th Street Southwest. So looking at our findings of fact, like I mentioned, is Zone C2. Comprehensive plan designates the area as commercial. We're fine with the overall rezoning future land use. This is everything I had just gone over in my presentation. So that's the findings of fact. Ultimately, you do have the authority to hear this case and recommend that City Council either approve or deny it, or approve it with conditions, if you'd like to have them. And yeah, so that's what you have the authority to do. So overall, staff does recommend that Planning Commission adopt our findings of fact and recommend approval to City Council of a zoning map amendment from C2 General Commercial District to M1 Light Industrial District, and to amend the future land use map from commercial to industrial, no conditions. Now, I should note that we did send out to you guys earlier today, we had someone with some questions they'd submitted on the properties. That was a couple of things, such as what we would actually look at, would we want to actually rezone more of the properties in this area? Or what extent they want to expand their business to, whether it's 50 cars or trucks or 5 trucks. They had some questions just on the full extent, and they'd either support or deny based off those things. Well, so I would defer the full extent of what they wish to expand with to the applicant, if they're here. And as far as the other one, that's kind of a question I'd like to pose to you guys, actually, on the Planning Commission. Because, I mean, overall, the area, we found it to be going more industrial. However, there is, a block, that whole strip to the north of their existing property that could develop more heavily into commercial in the future. It is along Burdick. It's a couple blocks away from the bypass. It's a good area for industrial, however, that could go either way there. As it redevelops over time, it could develop as more of industrial in nature. I know that the person that actually submitted their comment and mentioned potentially putting some commercial condos on their property, depending if they meant more of an office space kind of thing, like a strip mall kind of condo, or a pole building with a couple vacant bays for someone to move into. Something that could go either way. And so that's kind of a question I would pose to the Planning Commission as to what would you like to see in this area ultimately. We'll take some guidance from you on that. It's you feel it should be more industrial, should it go more commercial, should only part of it go one way or the other. And we'll, take that into mind, we'll take into consideration moving forward when we guide other applicants, such as the citizen who submitted their comments, which we would recommend they have a DRT to look into that condo at that time. I guess with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions for staff? All right, seeing none, we will open the public hearing then. Is there anybody who wishes to speak on this agenda item? Anybody who wishes to speak for or against this item?
Hello, I am Dave Forthen. I own Minor Restaurant Supply. We would be right in front of that. I think my concerns are once we go industrial, because the parking that they have there now has never been full when I've been there. Where does industrial stop? That's my question, because I know, talking to the eye doctors that just moved in next door, and the church, we want more retail out there. We want to stay more commercial. As they put their fence up for their original truck parking, they shut off, that was a drive through there, and that was an exit. I know that they cut off a couple of my neighbors use that exit. And from what I understand, I could do the same thing where I'm at, bring a fence down and cut off the drive. Then they couldn't get in or out to their commercial property, so. And it would have been just a little nicer if they'd have cut that at an angle and left that open for people to get in and out of there too. But those are my concerns. I have not seen that full. And where do we stop on the industrial side? That concerns me. Because I think Minot spent many millions of dollars to put an industrial site on the other side of Minot, and it's sitting there. Could be used, so thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Anybody else who wishes to speak? Okay, seeing none, then we'll close the public hearing. Turn it over to the commission. Is there a motion regarding this agenda item?
Mr. Chair,
Mhm.
motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Very good. Any discussion?
Yes, Chairman Demakis, members of the commission, is that based on staff's findings of fact and recommendation?
Is that motion based on staff finding fact and recommendations, Commissioner?
Thank you.
Yes, it is. Thank you for clarifying. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, then we'll call the roll.
Barnett,
Yes.
Demakis,
Yes.
Domes, Hochhalter,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Kibler,
Yes.
Leiter,
Yes.
Nestal,
Yes.
Offerdahl,
Yes.
Wagonist.
Yes.
Motion carries. The next item is a request by the Planning Division of the City of Minot to initiate the revocation of 2 conditional use permits permitted via resolutions 3594 and 3712 due to nonconformance with requisite conditions. Legal description is Outlet 37 of the northeast quarter of the southwest quarter and the northwest quarter of the southeast quarter of Section 29, Township 155 North, Range 82 West. addressed as 1820 Highway 2 Bypass East. Turn it over to staff for the report.
Thank you, Chairman Demakis, members of the commission. So the site is located off of Highway 2 East. The white line is the subject property and the teal line is the 600-foot notification area. So I know we have quite a few members here. Some of this will be old news, but I'm just going to go over some of the history of why we're here today. So in 2018, there was a conditional use permit obtained by the property owner for a portable asphalt batch plant and associated aggregate plant piles. Further, a conditional use permit was obtained by the property owner for hazardous material storage related to diesel fuel tanks. At the time, the conditions that were placed on the original 2018 CUP were unfulfilled, and a deadline of October 30th, 2021 was placed for all of the conditions related to both conditional use permits. On February 1st of this year, an amendment to the deadline was requested to be extended to June 15th of 2022. Of course, the deadline has since passed and there remain unfulfilled conditions of approval. And that is why Planning Division initiated the revocation at the prior meeting back in February. It was pretty clear. Planning Commission expected this to be completed by June 15, 2022, and we also had a duty to honor the neighboring property owners with regard to this as well, who attended that meeting and shared some concerns. So the nature of my discussion tonight, I'm going to go over, actually just focus on the unfulfilled conditions. I'll show you what I'm talking about on the site plan or some other documents, and then I'll show you some pictures of its current status or not current status. Status is of July 26th. That's the last time that staff did an on-site inspection. Since then, it's the property owner, I believe, is present, or property owner's representatives are present to show what work has been done in the last week. And so I'll leave that to them as far as being able to explain how much progress they're able to make in 1 week. So as part of the conditions of approval, landscaping and paving were required. So this included supplemental plantings along Highway 2 East. And as of July 26th, this is the progress. They have done quite a bit. The dirt work, curbing, and electrical have been completed to prep the landscape strips to accommodate plantings. Trees and shrubs remain unfinished. Again, this is as of July 26th. I believe that is completed today, but I'll defer that to the property owner to explain exactly where they are with regard to that. So a tree row, including evergreen conifers, is required to be planted along the northeast portion of the property for obscuration purposes. So as of July 26th, this area was not yet complete, clearly, and included a variety of vehicles and other implements located in that area. Paving was required for the purpose of dust mitigation and erosion control from the northeast entry back toward the portable asphalt batch plant. These photos show partially completed asphalt drive leading to the portable asphalt batch plant aggregate piles. I'll go into detail with regard to what I mean by partial. So this is the approximate area of that drive aisle and circulator that is completed. That red line denotes where it ends, where the paving ends, and then where it's either gravel or dirt driveway. So this is a good photo. You can see where paving ends and the gravel or dirt begin. So this is just a close-up, so there should be some type of circulator as the trucks enter, fill up with the asphalt. They're able to move around the site and then exit. So that paving area, that circulator is not there. Other incomplete items, so a revised landscape plan depicting the necessary changes to include evergreen conifers, the original site plan, included a variety of different trees. These need to be evergreen conifers. The reason for that, if anybody's wondering, is because they're provide obscuration year-round. A revised spill prevention control and countermeasure plan satisfactory to the engineering department. So this is related to the diesel fuel storage tanks on site in the event of a spill. So this is a health and safety mitigation measure, just having a plan in place. At this time, we do not have a revised copy. These are the findings of fact. The planning division in this case initiated the revocation, and the property owner did not meet the June 15, 2022 deadline for completion of all the conditions. And the Planning Commission has the authority to hear this case, neither approve, deny, or continue the meeting to the next scheduled Planning Commission meeting. In this case, if you were to approve, this would then revoke the conditional use permit. If you were to deny, it would not revoke the conditional use permit. So think of it that way when you're making a motion. So staff provided 3 different recommendations, alternatives. So recommendation A was if the property owner had fulfilled everything by the time we came to Planning Commission tonight, then Planning Commission should deny the Planning Division's initiated revocation. Staff's recommendation B would be that if the property owner would only require minor efforts to fulfill the conditions by the next scheduled Planning Commission meeting, then Planning Commission should continue the item to the next Planning Commission meeting. And finally, if there was no feasible way that the conditions would be fulfilled by the next Planning Commission meeting, that Planning Commission would revoke the conditional use permit. So where we are, as of July 26th, the last site visit, staff's position was recommendation B, and I believe the property owners or representatives are here to explain how they've even furthered, are closer to compliance with all of the conditions. And I guess I would just add and remind you that our goal here is compliance. And so we just want to see that all the conditions are fulfilled. The amount of work that Keller has been able to accomplish, albeit they've started quite late, within a week's time is remarkable. And so to keep that in mind, I have confidence that we'll be able to get this completed in the next 30 days. And I will stand for questions.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Okay, seeing none then, we'll open the hearing. Is there anybody who wishes to speak on this agenda item? Come on up, give us your name.
Hello, Dustin Keller with Keller Paving. So we should have some pictures. You got them uploaded? Of the progress we're making.
Derek, can you bring those up? Okay.
You want to just sign in on that sheet as well, too?
Yes, we started planting this morning. We got pretty much 85% or 90% of all of our trees and shrubs in the front. If you can see that picture there, you'll see most of the trees are in that front landscape package plan there. So there's the asphalt one. We've completed the road to the silo. We got to make that loop turn where that dump truck is. We'll complete that this week. There's another picture of the shrubs and landscaping package in the front. There's the fence that's going to be completed this week. And then we have trees to plant behind there. We've purchased the trees. We are just waiting for the weather to cooperate, to cool down a little bit before we continue to plant evergreens. Another picture of that area that was shown before that we've moved that equipment out of there, placing the fence. And then those evergreens are going to be going in there. this is the picture going south of the property to the other entrance. The fence should be completed, hopefully this week. Another picture of the front of the building, and then the asphalt plant.
Anything else you wish to add?
No, I think we're about 2 weeks away from finishing everything up. Just scheduling, I don't know if you guys done a lot of contracting or have contractors do. We have multiple parties working with here of electricians, plumbers, having everybody scheduled, parts and stuff have been back ordered. So it's been a challenge this year and the last few years. So give us a little bit more time and we'll get it done.
Where are you on the issue of the spill mitigation plan, I believe?
That is 95% finished with Ackerman. I would see next week that completed.
Who are you working with at Ackerman?
Justin?
That's all I had. Is there anything from the rest of the commission for Mr. Keller? Okay, seeing none, if we have anything, we'll let you know.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who wishes to speak?
Chairman Dominguez, if I could add something. If the meeting is to be continued, please don't.
John, I can barely.
You can't hear me? All right. If the meeting is to be continued, then don't close the public hearing because it'll be continued
Okay.
and then picked up at the next meeting. So
Right. So then the public hearing's still open. What is what is the bidding of the commission? Is there a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion to continue this item until September 7th, Planning Commission meeting, 5:30 PM.
Motion to continue this until the September 7th meeting at 5:30 PM. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on the motion to continue this matter to September 7th at 5:30?
Just keep our foot on the gas pedal on this one if we can.
Very good.
I agree. I was opposed to extending this last time, so this is probably my last attempt to get this done, get it wrapped up. To support that.
Okay. Very good. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll call the roll.
Barnett,
Yes.
Demacus,
Yes.
Domes, Hochhalter,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Kibler, Leider,
Yes.
Nestall,
Yes.
Offerdahl,
Yes.
Wagonist.
Yes.
Very good. Motion carries. The items continue to the next meeting on September 7th at 5:30. And with that, we handled other business. So, we're adjourned. Thank you all for coming.